Do you have heel spurs and are fed up with the nasty pain? Then stay tuned, because I'll show you what you can do about it yourself, and there's a lot you can do. You may have heard that you can roll away plantar fasciitis with a fascia roller, but is that really so? I will answer this question and how you can solve the problem for you today. First, I will briefly explain to you how a heel spur is formed in my opinion. You have a thick muscle and fascia bundle here between the heel and the big toe. And you need it when running, and because we always run in shoes, it becomes shorter and more tense. And the greater the tension becomes, and you can even see a little bit here, there is an excerpt from the calcaneus, and the greater this tension is. The more it builds up there, the more the tendon pulls on the bone, and then the spur forms, and it is also sensitive to pain because the tension is so high. However, from experience we know that it is not the spur that is the cause of the pain, but rather receptors that are too sensitive due to the tension that exists. And when we normalize this tension, then the problem is usually resolved. And before we get to rolling the heel spur, let's first do efficient exercises against it, then the question almost answers itself. Ina shows you the exercise, I explain it to you, and it's best if you join in right away, as always. Ina, go in front of the wall, and now you walk with your left affected leg. So we start from the heel spur on the left side. Therefore, we demonstrate for the left leg. For the right leg, you simply do the opposite. Go a little further back. That you get a good stretch in the calf at the back with the knee extended. Here, it pulls, and make sure that the heel stays fully on the ground and the knee is completely extended. And so we start, we stretch in there increasingly, you go down further in the right knee, then you intensify the stretching here. Why do we do that? Because all this force goes into the heel bone, goes through the Achilles tendon into the heel bone, and also has an impact on the entire foot, with other muscles that also play a role, which extend down there. Always make sure that you are fully stretched, and now you tense your forefoot against the ground, tense the forefoot against the ground, really tight, then you relax and go a little further into the stretch. Yes. And now you do the following. Attention, this is not easy. Now you bend your left knee, then the heel lifts off. And you notice you are practically pressing the toes, the metatarsophalangeal joints are on, and you are pressing yourself into the stretch in the tarsus, maybe a little further down. Yes, a little further down here with the knee, yes, and then you notice here, the stretch is not only here in the calf, but also further down here to under the foot. Try to hold that position. It's not quite easy. I'll show you a way later to make it much easier from the physical side, this exercise. And then you push again with the forefoot against the ground, pressing firmly against it, so that what is being stretched here tightens nicely, then relaxes again, and you go further into the stretch. And now you go down further with the knee and calmly place it on the ground, and push yourself backwards so that the toes fully extend. And now you notice the stretching is here, deep inside the calf, over the sole of the foot, all the way to the toes. Of course, you need a floor that doesn't slip. And now try again to dig your toes into the ground, really applying pressure with your toes, applying strong pressure, a little bit more. And loosen it up again and go a little further into the stretch. Yes, if it still feels tight, go ahead and go further into the knee angle there. Then you will probably have more pressure on your foot, right? Exactly, okay? And with this exercise, you pull more and more on this string and it becomes more and more free. Look, so with the pre-stretched foot, it is much easier. If you don't have the knee stretcher yet, then stand on the forefoot on 2-3 books. You lay down accordingly and make sure it doesn't slip down, and then you do the following. You first go into the stretch, like here. Then you go into the knee, go increasingly into the knee. Yes, that's enough. Can't go any further. Okay, then you stay like that, and then you pull the knee forward so that you lift the heel, and then you get all the power on the front here. And then you put so much weight on it that you can achieve this stretch wonderfully here, much, much easier than without this elevation of the forefoot. And now let's talk about heel spur wake-up rolls. Let's roll it away. Write a few comments if you have already had experience with it. Whether that worked out and so on, we'll go through it first. You go on the mini roller or on a comparable or other round roller and apply a lot of pressure. Start with the toes and now bend the toes, and with each toe bend you do, you bring yourself a little further forward. Yes, keep going and put pressure on it with your leg, always positioning yourself in a way that allows you to build maximum pressure. When you are down from the metatarsophalangeal joints, then you go a little to the right with the knee, a little over with the knee, go a little out with the foot, go a little over. Why? Because the arch of the foot is slanted downwards, you can now apply force to the arch of the foot on the inside as well. And you keep making these movements. Do you now have even strength on the... Yes. Wonderful. Always further, and then you realize that toe flexion doesn't move you forward, but you go to the ground. And you keep pulling yourself further and further forward on the ground, and then you come into the area where the heel spur is probably felt. Then you have to be careful. And do it in a way that you can still bear it well. Keep going forward, and at some point try to roll it out until the end of the heel, because at some point you will slip off. Okay, and you can repeat that a few times and do the same thing over and over again. And now we come to answering the question, is that enough? So that definitely helps to get the metabolism going. It also relaxes, but in the long run, to permanently get rid of the heel spur. It is important that you do the exercises because only the exercises, if you do them regularly, permanently change the structure. And another very important piece of information for you, it's not the spur itself that hurts, as I mentioned earlier, but rather that there is too much tension on it. The receptors that lead to the pain, and when you do the exercises and the whole thing relaxes down, the pain is gone, but the spur is still there. And if it then works off over the course of the next months and years, the body takes care of that a little bit itself. But if you are painless, the problem is solved for you. Hey, just a quick note. On Sunday, the 7th of January at 11 o'clock, my big New Year's live training will take place here in this channel. And I would like to invite you very, very warmly. We train here for fun from head to toe. And the special thing about this training is that you'll receive 12 tips on how you can finally implement your New Year's resolutions this year. Be there and sign up. In summary, rolling is a great addition to the exercises, but the exercises are what work sustainably. If you click up here, you will come to a video about foot pain, closely related to the topic. Take a look at it, and down here you can subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos from Ina and me. Goodbye.